Hello, Lisa here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to hot takes on upcoming tarot and oracle decks. This will be my video for June 2022. Let's get into it. If you are new to my channel, if you are new to hot takes, welcome. Let me tell you how this works. I originally got the idea for hot takes from the amazing beauty and lifestyle YouTuber, Hannah Louise Poston. I love her channel. I'm a big fan, and she started doing hot takes on upcoming makeup releases, and I thought it'd be really fun to do the same kind of idea for tarot and oracle decks because heaven knows there are so many tarot and oracle decks coming out all of the time, and I thought it'd be a great way to sort of stay up to date on what's coming out. Now, if you don't know what a hot take is, I like to use Wikipedia's definition, the same one that Hannah uses. In journalism, a hot take is a piece of deliberately provocative commentary that is based almost entirely on shallow moralizing in response to a news story, usually written on tight deadlines with little research or reporting and even less thought. It's really important to contextualize this series and make sure that you guys understand that I'm just giving you essentially my first impressions based on limited information on a purchase page or a Kickstarter page or whatnot. Now in this series, I like to talk about upcoming mass market releases. So these are decks that are in pre-order status but are due to release in the next month or so, as well as indie decks that are currently in pre-order status and Kickstarter and other crowdfunding campaigns that are currently funding. I get the idea for which decks you guys want to hear from by asking my subscribers and the members of my Facebook group, Supportive Tarot, what decks you want me to talk about in this series, and I compile my list from there. There are nowadays a lot more requests than I could possibly get to in one video, so I do limit it, which means I sometimes have to pick and choose, and I kind of do that arbitrarily because remember, I'm not doing research on these decks before making this video. So I sort of pick and choose the best I can and try to put together a list, often based on the stuff that's been the most highly requested. But we still cover an awful lot of decks in this video, so I'm going to stop the intro now and just get into it. I thought this time it would be fun to start off with indie decks that are currently in pre-order status. So let's get started. The first one I have on my list that is an indie deck, and let me zoom in here, is in pre-order status. Now this is not a new deck. This was out before as a Kickstarter. I don't know if this is the first independent run pre-order of the Cosmic Cycles Tarot, but it's the first time I've managed to catch it in time to do it for this video, to share it with this video. So the Cosmic Cycles Tarot, this was originally a Kickstarter, and I didn't back it when it was on Kickstarter, in part because I felt like it wasn't far enough along in the process. I got a vibe that maybe it was going to end up taking way longer than anticipated to deliver. I wasn't feeling particularly patient, and I just had some misgivings about the campaign itself. I don't remember exactly what those were in detail because it's been so long, but I will tell you guys that I did hear quite a bit of feedback from people either via my channel or via the Facebook group who mentioned they had some not awesome customer service experiences, or at least it felt like the communication maybe wasn't where it needed to be. So I will share that because I did see that information. That being said, there is now a new pre-order for this deck, and I will say that the art style is right up my alley. This is one I am giving some serious consideration to. Can I zoom in on the photos? Oh, yay, I can. Okay. This is one I'm giving some serious consideration to. I think the major arcana is really well done. I adore the minors as well. From what I have seen, the minor arcana sort of tell a story, and I am a sucker for that. So this is something that is sitting firmly on my wish list, but I don't know if I'm ultimately going to pull the trigger on this one or not. I'd really love to hear your experiences down below, particularly if you had a positive experience, because I definitely feel like I saw more critical feedback of the experience, not of the deck itself. I feel like I've heard nothing but positive things about the deck itself, just the experience of acquiring it, purchasing it. I do really love the sort of modern take on the cards. I love the sort of almost Disney-esque art style to this. This sort of feels like it could be a animated movie in theaters right now. You know what I mean? It feels like it has that sort of quality to the artwork. And I love that the High Priestess is sitting there with her laptop and her cards, and you get the feeling like she's laid cards out and is now looking up the meanings, trying to figure it all out. I don't know if that's what it's meant to show, but that's kind of how it feels. I don't know much about the guidebook, don't care about a bag, but I just love the illustration style. If I remember correctly, this is a bit pricey though. Let's take a look at that because I feel like it was definitely a little on the pricier side. So it's showing that it's 37, I don't know what the difference is here, 37 to 53.50 euro with VAT not included. Oh, it probably depends on whether or not you have add the physical guidebook or not. So it looks like, oh, it doesn't really tell me how the pricing changes. Question mark? There might be some more information here. Let's see. So there are 79 cards. The card stock is 350 GSM. packaged in a tuck box. I don't care about that. There's some shipping information as far as timelines go, which is great. It's also very transparent that you only get tracking if you pay extra for certified shipping when you check out, which makes sense. Sometimes there are untracked options that are just frankly a lot more affordable. And there's also some instructions here if you reside in the European Union. It sounds like they have another opportunity. I wish I could tell what's affecting the price. I'm assuming that if you add the guidebook or you add the pouch, those things, I'm going to say no to the pouch and yes to the, there we go. So you have to answer those questions, yes or no. So if I say yes to the guidebook and no to the pouch, it's 46.50 euro. If I say no to the guidebook and no to the pouch, it's only 37 euro, which is actually not bad. I feel like this is less expensive than when it was on Kickstarter, but I'm only going on memory. So if you remember, please feel free to let us know down below. Also, if you have this deck, I would love to hear from you. So yeah, let us know what you think. But this one, as far as a hot take, I mean, I've seen plenty before, so I guess it's not that hot, but there you go. Okay, this next one, the Curious Travels Tarot deck. Okay, so this is currently in pre-order status. It's $75 US, I assume, plus shipping. So it is not inexpensive. It's on 350 GSM coreless plus cardstock. I don't know what the plus is for, but it's got soft touch matte lamination. Now, if you don't know, soft touch is that rose petally feel, and people seem to have sort of a love-hate relationship with it. Either they love it or they hate it. It does get a little bit clumpy and sticky when you're shuffling, which is important to know. I kind of love the aesthetic feel, and as much as I love it, even I have kind of come over to the other side of like, well, it's not really a selling point to me anymore because it does affect the function a little bit when it comes to shuffle. These decks are currently scheduled to ship September, but I also wanted to point out that what I'm seeing here on the screen is a notice from the creator that says, this is the last limited edition release of this indie deck. If you did not get a chance to grab one, fear not. Decks will be produced through US Games in 2023 around the world. Follow my social media links to receive updates. That's exciting news. So if you're looking at this deck, and we're going to go through some photos, but if you're looking at this deck and you're not so sure if that price tag is right or if you want to get it while it's independent, this is exciting because it's going to be produced mass market. I think that's awesome. I feel like I did not snap this up when I'm pretty sure this was on crowdfunding at some point, and I don't think I snapped it up. I really love, I want to know what card that is. Why is it cut off? I hate that. Show me the card. What card title? Because I feel like that could be a couple of different things. I want to see that. You can't see the card titles in this image either. Oh no. I feel like this has been out before. I think this is not a new run. So maybe look it up and see if you can find some walkthroughs, because there's not a lot here as far as being able to match the titles. Like, I feel like that's probably the 5 of Swords there with the fox. Well, actually, there's 4 swords there and at least 2 there. I don't know on this one. The gorilla scratching his head in this 7 of Wands is really interesting. I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to keep an eye on this, though, when it's mass market. I really want to see more cards. I really can't give a lot of an opinion based on just what I see here. There's just not enough images for me to really know. But I know that this was highly requested. So if this is one you've been keeping your eyes out for, this will be the last time you'll be able to get the independent version of the deck. I think this is one that I'm definitely going to wait, though, for a mass market and see what I see. Next up, we have the Adapt. Is this what this is called? The Adapt Tarot. This is the 2nd edition, so this is another one that's been out before. I don't feel like this one was on my radar at all. So let's take a look at the pictures. Pretty box. Oh, it's collage-y. Oh, neato. I feel like collage decks are having a total, like, resurrection. What do you call it? Revival? Is that the right word? They're having a total revival moment. Like, I feel like they're just coming more into popularity. This has that sort of hand-cut collage feel to it. It doesn't feel like digital blended. It feels like kind of choppy in that cool way. I really want to... Oh, it won't let me zoom in. Oh, there we go. So this is the Judgment card. Interesting. I don't know how I feel about that right now. Oh, it looks like there's a lot of... Can you please zoom in properly? There we go. There's a lot of border. There's a lot of border on these cards. I feel like that particular border style where it's really busy, it doesn't help. It doesn't seem to like frame the image the way that I feel like I want them framed if they're going to be collage decks. And maybe, am I alone in this? But I feel like if you're going to have a very artistically sort of busy card, I want a border for starters, and then I want that border to be solid so that I get some space from the chaos before I get to the next card. Does that make any sense? So I think the border issue is actually would make this a deal breaker for me personally. That said, you can see here there is actual paper collage being done, which is awesome. I love that. I love to see it. I think decks like this can really add other layers to your reading, and they are very laborious to make. So kudos to the creator. I don't think this is one I'm particularly tempted by, and it isn't cheap at $78 plus $26.50 Canadian to have it delivered. So I'm talking over $100 for this deck for sure. I do not like it over $100 worth, at least at this particular point. The Moon Witch Tarot. I don't know who told me about this, but darn it, because this one is really tempting. So I love this a lot. It reminds me a little bit of what I wanted the Divine Feminine Tarot to sort of look and feel like. I don't know, it's got color, but it feels a little bit cosmic, but the bodies aren't all like homogenous. They look different, which is great. There's a little bit of otherworldliness to it. The backs are so pretty. Is that so superficial of me? The backs are really, really pretty. These also look like they're bigger cards. Like they look like they might be wider than a standard tarot. I'll check the stats on that in a second. I'm loving that you can get 2 different colors of box, or is it also 2 different backing styles? I think the backs are all the same. I think you might be just looking at a different box style. Cosmic Valeria tarot cards. I mean, these are pretty. They are also pricey, and the shipping in it's the same as that other deck. Does it say here, pink box edition? Let's see. Oh, this is the pink box edition. Oh, box is also available in black color. Cards are the same. Oh, so there's 2 different listings on this person's shop. So you can get it either in the pink box or the black box. The cards are the same. I'm loving the little foil accents. Yeah, they are 350 GSM art paper. Art paper is coreless, which is good to know if you're a shuffler. They are big. They are 3.5 by 5. I feel like that could be a downside. That's kind of a meaty, chunky deck, but these are pretty. I mean, I question, would I use them a lot? I don't know. They're pretty though. They're pretty. Okay, I guess that's my hot take. They're real pretty. There's a little temptation there. I'll just keep this tab pinned for now. It's fine. Next up, this one is so gorgeous. Look at this. Okay, can I? Oh, there's a unit. Look at all this gold. This is really, look at this 8 of Wands. Wowza, this is pretty. I mean, I don't know. Is this one, would I use this? Is this 2 Rider-Waite-Smith? It's so pretty. It's, what is this even called? I forgot to check. I'll tell you guys in a second. I think it's called Dreamy Moons. This strength card is so pretty. Okay, I feel like this is very much an ooh shiny moment for me because I feel like it's really, really beautiful. But I think what I'm drawn to about this deck are the aesthetics, because aesthetically it's beautiful. It's really pretty. That's what it is. I don't know that depth-wise there's anything here that's particularly calling to me, which is sucky to admit, but it's really pretty. It's a pretty deck. And I know that's a word I say a lot. It's pretty. And let's face it, a lot of us like to have various decks because they're beautiful. This one is beautiful. I don't know that I'm seeing a lot in the imagery that's making it feel like it's shaking up, I guess, the status quo enough for me to be really tempted by it, but it is really, really beautiful. I think I might be safe from this one, actually. All right, let's talk now about mass market decks that are currently in pre-order status. The Mystique of Magdalene, an Oracle of Love. So this is a Mary Magdalene based oracle, it appears. I want more pictures. Come on now. Get it together, Amazon. So we have different images of, I assume, Mary Magdalene. Okay, so this is nice. So you can see that the anatomy of the card is that we get a title, in this case, Desert Rose, and a message. So this says, True Love Cannot Hide, which is really lovely. Let's see if we can find some more images underneath. Ah, yes. Llewellyn has been doing this more on their listing pages. So here's some other examples. So we have Stella Maurice, and it says, Trust, The Unknown Journey, Embrace the Unfamiliar. Angel of Rosalind says, something mystery. The Cosmic Magdalene, remember who you are. Something the mystery. Uncover the mystery. Unlock the mystery. I don't know what that says. But those are really pretty. If you have read, oh gosh, what's the book? Mary Magdalene Revealed. That was an incredible book. I really enjoyed that read. That being said, there is the Divine Feminine Oracle, which is actually by the same creator as Mary Magdalene Revealed. So not trying to do that, but this is very Mary Magdalene focused. So if Mary Magdalene is a part of your practice, this could be a really beautiful tool. It's not mine, but it's still looks like it might be really well done as far as that's concerned. So I feel like they've addressed the subject matter well. It's just not a subject matter that like I'm tempted to dive into at this particular moment. The Transient Light Tarot, this was an indie deck, yeah? Somebody tell me. This was on Kickstarter. This comes out on June 21st. I haven't really been talking about dates, but I will have links to everything down below. So this one has a limited color palette, which is can we just talk for a second about limited color palettes? Like, I am that tarot reader, I guess, tarot enthusiast. I am that person that I imagine I want to be the person that loves limited color palette decks. Like, that's basically it in a nutshell. That's what I'm trying to say. I wish I were that person, because I look at these and I can appreciate how beautiful it is to have a limited color palette. Like, I can appreciate that there's something about that that's really, really appealing. And so I convince myself I think it's appealing. And then I get a deck with a limited color palette and I never reach for it, because, as I say a lot on this channel, I'm a sucker for color. And when faced with the option between a really, really colorful deck and like a limited color palette deck, the limited color palette deck will get forgotten, typically, unless there's something about it, the way that the cards are designed, that really excites me and thrills me, that can overcome or overpower my desire for color, that can like outweigh it. You know what I mean? So I feel like there is a part of me, I love this, the Nurturer for the Empress. See, I like that, but the limited color palette, and also, are the borders really this big? Is that actually a thing? I don't think it is, because if you look over here, oh no, those are pretty big borders. I mean, these squared off images make the borders look even bigger, but if you look at how much space, like look at this, look at how much space there is underneath the words here. That's a lot of space under there. I feel like that's a big border. Why are the borders so big? And it almost has this look like it was painted on like cardboard, like corrugated cardboard almost. Like, you know that look, it looks like it's almost like it was drawn on cardboard. Maybe it was, maybe that's part of the story. But again, limited color palette. I'm really digging the kind of minimalist look to a couple of these cards. Like, I love this shell and pearl and the stars for the Empress. Okay, I have to do the thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Thank you for getting the number of stars correct. Thank you. That's just like a thing. That's like a thing that bugs me. Although it doesn't bug me in every single deck. But if I'm already on the fence about a deck, little things like that will definitely irritate me. So I'm liking this kind of minimalist feel. I feel like if I was going to want a deck like this, it would probably end up being the Spacious Tarot. That's the one that often tempts me for being a more minimalist-ish kind of deck, I guess. But this limited color palette, I mean, it's also not my palette. Like blues and greens and like swamp water palette. What do you call this palette? And I don't mean that rudely. I just mean it's kind of got that murky, dingy color palette. I can't think of nicer words. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be mean. It's just not my thing. So we'll move on now. But this is coming out, and if you missed it on the indie side, and this is definitely up your alley, so many people love limited color palettes. If that's you, this might be a deck you're excited about. Tell us down below. Let us know. This one, I'm trying to remind myself I should not buy. I don't care how excited I am about alchemy. I don't care how excited I am that it's Kim Krans, who is the creator of the Wild Unknown Tarot, see previous mention. I have thus far rehomed every single thing by Kim Krans that I've ever brought in, including the Wild Unknown, which I then later regretted, reacquired, and we're good. Me and the Wild Unknown, we're good. Everything else Kim Krans has created, I have desperately wanted to bond with and to bond well with, and have not. The Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck I had, it's gorgeous. I love the art. I hate that there's no keywords. I hate that it just titles the name of the animal, so I rehomed that. The Wild Unknown Archetypes deck is powerful. It's deep. It's got so much going for it. I really enjoyed working with it, but then I promptly stopped using it because it was like a whole new thing I felt like I needed to like wrap my brain around, and I just never reached for it. And it's a good deck. These are good decks. There's little things about them. And because of that, I'm trying to not be tempted by the alchemy deck, despite the fact that I have a keen interest in alchemy. And this looks like it's really fun. The cards are hexagonal. That's really hard to say. So this is interesting because we have like a title and then an alchemical correlation, right? So we have oleum vitrioli, and then it says oil of vitriol. Wait a minute, those things are the same. So we have Latin and English, I think. Luna and moon. Eris and copper. I'm assuming that's Latin. Will somebody please tell me if it's not Latin? That looks like the same picture. The hexagonal shape is a little tempting. And again, I like Kim Kranz's artwork. I do like the idea of an alchemical deck, but this is where I rein myself in and go, but I think I might have things in my collection that will do this job for me. But this is mildly tempting. Mildly tempting. But I'm reminding myself that I do not need another Kim Kranz thing that I will eventually rehome. Nobody's fault, just is what it is. This artwork, though, there's something about it and the way that she approaches things that I just really admire. And I wonder if sometimes that admiration makes me want to buy the thing, but no, I do not need this thing. Also, it's $57 Canadian. Why is it so expensive? What is happening? This title's due out July 5th. Let's move on. The Guardians of the Night Tarot. Okay, so I have something to say about this. I'm pretty sure, I mean, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure at one point I anti-hauled this deck, and I mentioned that one of the things that MJ Cullinane does with her production, with her decks, and I 100% support this idea, I think it's a cool way for everybody to get the best of all worlds, is she usually does an independent release of her decks, and then they go mass market. And I feel like I remembered saying, maybe it was this one, maybe it was the For Hoxa Tarot, I'm not sure, it might have been For Hoxa, which is her more recent one, I believe. But I remember saying, I don't need this, and I'm going to wait, because it's probably going to go mass market, and then if I do want to check it out, I can check it out at a more affordable price. And I could have swore people were telling me that this one was not going to go mass market, but I think to date they all have still. So I think her decks, I like that she releases her decks independently, which is a great thing for her to do as a creator. It lets her kind of, it's a better financial thing for many creators to do an indie run, right? It supports their art better, it supports their time better. But then to let it go mass market after you've had an indie run or two is a really cool way to get both, right? The people that really want an independent version or to support it at the independent stage of the project can do that. And then people who are like live in an area where independent decks are just prohibitively expensive or they can't get them, or who are waiting for one that's more affordable, then have an option for that later. And I just think it's a really beautiful way to do that. And we're seeing more of that. It felt like it used to be that you either saw a deck in the independent market or you saw the deck in the mass market. But lately, a lot more publishers are really getting on board with scooping up for mass market some of these successful independent or Kickstarter decks. So we are seeing these things happen more and more where a successfully produced independent deck then goes mass market. And I just think that's amazing because there's a lot of things that are just inaccessible to people in certain parts of the world, and them going mass market makes them more accessible. But also we still get to support indie creators, and it just feels like a really cool like mashup of worlds that is happening. Again, it's happening more and more, and I love to see it. Okay, babbles aside. The actual deck itself, the Guardians of the Night is like it seems like it's meant to be just a little bit shadowy while being an animal deck. And, you know, MJ has this really beautiful art style that is absolutely addictive. If you've seen her Crow Tarot, which is one of her most popular releases she ever did, it's just a captivating art style. It's got this like softness to it and this kind of texture to the artwork. It's a digital style of something that she does, but it's really captivating to look at. Look at the orca. I love that. So it's really beautiful. The thing is, I already have probably too many really still animal decks. I need to pare that section of my library down, but I already have a lot of animal decks, and I specifically have an animal deck that I see as more of a shadowy animal deck, and that's the Brady Tarot. It's very raw nature, the Brady Tarot, and it's got a lot of depth, and I'm already bonded to it. And so anytime a deck kind of comes in or comes out that I feel like is too close to that energy, I'm pretty quickly able to talk myself out of it because I do have and love the Brady Tarot so much. So kudos to MJ for this one going mass market. This is due out, did I mention? It's due out July 5th. I mean, $26.99 Canadian is a steal. Who's publishing this? Is this US Games? No, it's Hay House. Okay. I have nothing against Hay House as a company at all, but they need to sort out their cardstock issue if they can. Now, their decks are incredibly affordable, and that just could be the cost of getting a more affordable deck. But I have a very hard time purchasing decks by Hay House right now because the cardstock feels so... it warps, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. And that's a very cardstock snob opinion. I totally get it. But it's very much a you get what you pay for situation. The cost of having a more affordable deck is that you do have not as great cardstock. That being said, I want people to be able to access really affordable decks, and a lot of people don't care at all about cardstock. And for those people, I'm glad that there are decks at this price point and available. So And there are some that I will look past the cardstock for. I looked past this cardstock for the Curious Creatures Tarot, which is brilliant. I don't love this enough, and as I mentioned, I've already got a shadowy animal deck, so I don't have anything that's motivating me to look past the cardstock issue, but not a fan of Hay House's current cardstock. They have put out really beautiful, luxurious matte cardstock in the past that I've really enjoyed, and they've put out really great glossy cardstock in the past. This current matte one that they've been putting out lately, though, is not good. Now, this could be, they may have made changes already, and maybe they're going to roll out with this deck. I have no way to know yet. But this is one of the reasons why I don't pre-order mass market decks. There's a number of reasons why, but that's one of them. I don't feel like I need to rush with these decks. They're going to come out. I want to hear other people's opinions. I don't need to be first in line. That's okay. And we'll see. Maybe they've sorted it out. Let's reserve judgment until we know for sure. But those are my thoughts, at least on the stuff that's been releasing recently. The Egyptian Gods Oracle cards. So these are due out July 8th. This is a really cool looking deck. It's very hieroglyphs. It looks like it's even on like papyrus. I feel like I may have tagged Dawn Michelle in this one because I feel like she'd really enjoy this. I feel like it would pair really well with some of the Egyptian tarot decks that are out there, which is very exciting indeed. I feel zero draw to this at all. It's a Llewellyn deck, which means it's actually... When I see stuff like this, it's almost always Lo Scarabeo, which is distributed by Llewellyn. It's cool looking. I don't have any particular draw myself. And finally in mass market, we have the Anime Tarot. This is due out July 12th. So I don't know if that date has shifted. This is a little tempting because these are really pretty. I kind of dig this style. Let's see if I can get in a little closer. Oh, maybe not. There was another anime one that I feel like I liked more. This one feels... Why are there two different shoes on the Fool, by the way? What is up with that? I don't know. This is fine. Are you into anime? I feel like this is a particular style of anime art that I'm not as drawn to. There's some that are more like... I want to say like Disney-ish, but there's some that are more like, I don't know, like the edges are rounder. I don't know how to describe what I'm trying to say. Kudos to Simon & Schuster. I'm assuming that's the publisher. Kudos to them for showing us one of the minor arcana cards so that we know that it is a pip deck. That's all I've ever wanted from mass market publishers. Just show us so we can make an informed decision. Lots of people don't mind pip decks, but for those of us that don't want that or would rather something else in a particular deck, just show us the pips. You know what I'm saying? All right, it's time to talk about Kickstarter decks, so let's get into it. So the first one I'm going to be talking about is the Walking Meditation Tarot and Pocketbook Guide to Walking Meditation. I was like, wait, what is this? So it says, a tarot deck and book that connects you to the natural elements of each season through the lens of my own nature photography. So the creator who's done this has been taking photography and has created a deck based on that, which is super cool. So this is Danielle Norman. This is going to be pretty outdoor spaces. Oh, I like this. Three of Cups, the Devil. That's really pretty. The Three of Cups has got... It's interesting, actually. The Three of Cups has this very calm, pretty... is that lavender? It feels like lavender kind of look to it. I almost feel like it's too calm for the Three of Cups, which is like kind of joyful and like... exciting? I don't know. More exuberant? I feel like there's more exuberant energy in the Three of Cups. Are there any other examples here? The Chariot. So same thing here. Our horse here is pausing to graze, not focused and moving forward. I'm not sure if I'm digging these particular combinations. The Four of Cups I think is perfect. We've got the cups circling that solid tree. Oh, I see. My photography edited and placed into an app to give it that beautiful painted look and feel. Oh, I see. Okay, so it's been updated. The Five of Cups, that's pretty. Death is also really beautiful. I love the idea of the autumn leaves for death. There's a quote about that. Oh gosh. Something about the way that the leaves teach you about letting go. I think it's beautiful. Ace of Swords, Seven of Pentacles, these are great. The World card is really cool. It shows all four seasons, which I think is stunning, particularly since it's showing the same tree, like in the same place. I think that's really beautiful. The Four of Wands is really gorgeous as well. So this is really beautiful. I feel like if you're drawn to something that involves nature photography, that involves being out of doors, I love that. I like the snowy path for the Fool. That makes a lot of sense to me as well. There's some really beautiful things here. Like in the Magician card, you can see that the sword and the cup and the pentacle and the wand have all kind of been worked into the image in a really beautiful way. I like the sort of flowing water for the Empress and the rock structure for the Emperor. This is really, really beautiful. There's just a few that didn't quite hit me. I love the spiraling together trees for the lovers. That's so cool. Niagara Falls for strength is gorgeous. I love the strength and power of water. Yeah, this is nice. Not for me, but it's nice. All right. I had a bunch of tags in this one, the Everybody's Tarot. This is so quirky and fun. It's also very brightly colored. There's a playfulness to it that's definitely appealing. I don't think this is one that I feel like I want to have in my collection. I feel like it would be in that same category as decks like the Mons Tarot, and there's frankly no competition, so there's no point. But this is kind of cute, right? It's very bold colored. Yeah, this is not a normal tarot deck. I mean, clearly. But you can also clearly see that it's depicting the meanings very simply, but very clearly. Like, you know right away, okay, that makes sense for the death. The Star, the Hanged Man, is the Sloth with, what is he holding? What is he holding? What is that? Is that a water bottle? What is that? The Fool is super cute. This reminds me of the kind of art that could be like a really fun, simple, like video game. I like this. I do like this. I don't need this. I don't feel like I would use this, but I like it. It's really fun. And again, I'm a sucker for bold color. Looks like, are these Oracle cards? Oh yeah, there's an add-on booster pack with some non-traditional cards. Productivity, Letting Go, the Phoenix, Boundaries, the Crow, Saying No, Family, and the White Feather. Love that. That's so fun. This one has it reached its goal? I forgot to talk about that on the last one. 5903. So yeah, this one has surpassed its goal. It's showing it to me in Canadian dollars, but it's surpassed it. And you have 14 days to go. You have until Saturday, June 25th at 10:49 to back this one. 10:49 p.m. Pacific to back it. The Occult Ornithology Tarot Deck. Okay, so this is where I tell you guys, like, I understand ornithology is birds. This is the point at which a deck like this is kind of lost on me, because I am already terrible at animal identification, and then you make an entire deck of nothing but birds, and I really extra suck at bird identification, so this is not for me. But it looks like it's almost to its goal with 15 days left to go. You have until Monday, June 27th to back it. It does say it's gold foiled. 24 card gold foiled. Oh, it's only majors. What? Oh, that's a bummer. I really would love to hear from people down below how you use major arcana decks. I feel like I've heard a couple things from people. Some people like to use, I think I've heard that they like to use major arcana decks for like more major like life issues. This is really beautiful. I feel like this would pair really nicely next to a deck like the Brady Tarot. I feel like the colors would look really nice next to the Brady Tarot. But yeah, I'm really not tempted by a majors only deck. That Afro Drip Tarot, a ton of you guys are excited. This has an enormous goal though. Oh my goodness. A $43,000 goal is incredibly aggressive. I know that this is a deck that the creator's been working on for a long time. It's very vividly colored. Let's see what it says here. For Us, By Us, a bright, modern 78 Rider-Waite-Smith-based tarot deck filled with that Afro Drip. So very much geared for and created by people of color, which is amazing. And it looks really beautiful and vibrant and full of light. I think that goal is really high. It's unfortunate because I think sometimes that just getting the word out is the hardest part, right? If you are drawn to this, definitely do check it out. It looks beautiful and vibrant. I don't think this is something that I'm going to grab, but it looks really well done. I like all the pinks and the purples in this and the vibrant greens. I feel like the colors are very, they're like gem tones, so they're really bright and sort of sparkly feeling. I mean, it could be also, there's a lot of actual sparkles on these pictures, which could be where I'm getting that from. But you can really feel that in the artwork, that vibrancy. The blades. Cool, modern, RWS kind of feel. If you have been looking for like a modern type deck and you haven't found one that sort of fits the bill yet, this would probably be worth looking at. Oh, I see some astrology symbolism there too. Oh, is the astrology symbolism on all the cards? Okay, so I see it on, let me see if I can zoom you in properly. Okay, so see how we have, it looks like sun in, is that sun? That looks like the sun symbol. Sun in Capricorn? I'm not sure about this one. Mars in Capricorn and Jupiter in Capricorn. So I know the first two, I'm pretty sure the first two are aligned properly. I'm not sure about this one. Is it Sun in Capricorn? Maybe somebody knows. Tell me down below if you know. I'm liking it. It looks like the astrological symbols are on the cards. I think that's amazing. You don't actually see that in very many modern decks where they have, like here we have the elemental sign for air on the Ace of Swords. This looks very smart. Yep, here's Libra here. There's got to be another glyph I'm not spotting. Saturn and Libra for the Three of Swords. Now that I see them, I can't unsee them. Jupiter and Libra for the Four of Swords. Okay, that's awesome. The fact that the astrological symbolism on there is really, really great. Let's see what the production quality is looking like. Let's see. So, nice sturdy box. Oh, it's going to be on plastic cardstock. I know some of you are going to lose your minds over this. So it's going to be printed on 0.3 millimeter PVC semi-transparent frosted plastic cardstock with a 1/4 inch transparent border. The edges will have a matte gold gilding and some of the art elements will have spot UV gloss. This is why the budget is so high. This makes a lot of sense. The production quality is really, really high. And the fact that it's plastic means this deck is going to be so durable. I'm going to just hit the remind me button. I really have to give this one a second look. At first glance, I was like, well, maybe not, but I don't have any plastic decks right now. And this one is pretty gorgeous. I also love, can we just talk about, I mean, you can tell that Shaniqua here knows her symbolism because you can see, like in the 8 of Wands, you get the streaking wands, you get the cheetah, so you get this idea of speed, but you also have these like little messages, like little letters on the wands because there's often a messages component to that card. And that's a detail that a lot of creators miss. I think that's really, really interesting that she's got that in there. I also really like how in the 9 of Wands, there's a dog by her side. Like she's got this like support, which is really exciting. There's a lot of things I like about this deck. I'm going to have to give this one a second look in more detail, but I really like the Ace of Cups too. Wait, let me look at the 9. Hold on, where's the 9? Oh, the 9 is pretty. It's a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? Like consumerist, like she's surrounded by like shopping things, and I'd love to see something less material looking for the 9 of Cups, but that is a card I'm extraordinarily picky about. So like, yeah. What's the timeline on this? So January 2023, I would not be surprised if this one took longer, and that's not a dig on the creator. It's just, there's a lot of moving parts when you have plastic cardstock is, for starters, is a different process, I assume. And then you have gilding, spot gloss, and there's other elements here that I feel like there's a lot of moving parts. So I wouldn't be surprised if it took a little longer, and I think that's to be expected. But, I mean, for all you know, they could deliver on time. I would definitely give this creator some grace if it takes a little longer, though, because I feel like this one is one where if things don't work just perfectly in production, there could be a little bit more of a wait. This looks like a deck that would be worth the wait, though. So if this one is calling to you, definitely check it out. I really hope they meet their goal. They're already, how far? Well, they're, what percentage? Oh, it doesn't give us a percentage. You have quite a bit of time, though. Well, you have like a couple of weeks. You have until June 29th at 4:12 a.m. Pacific time. I hope, if for any reason this does not fund, I hope the creator relaunches it and maybe gives up something on the production quality or something to bring that budget down a little bit so that it can get funded. I hope it can get funded, though. It looks worthwhile to me. So I'm going to save it so I can look at it again later because it was really starting to win me over as I was going through it there. The Keeper of the Sacred Bee Tarot is funding as I look at it. So this one is over its goal. I'm not surprised. The Wisdom of the Sacred Bee Tarot, which was the first in the series, and the Oracle of the Sacred, I think I just smacked my microphone, and the Oracle of the Sacred Bee, or the Sacred Bee Oracle, or however that was called. Both of those projects did very, very well, and I've heard nothing but positive feedback from people who have these decks. I've had a lot of people suggest that I try the Wisdom of the Sacred Bee Tarot. I have not tried it. I don't feel an affinity to bees, which I've mentioned, but the artwork is really, really beautiful. And this is the 3rd deck in the series. So the first deck focused on the bees. The Oracle deck obviously was meant to pair with that. And now we have a deck focused on the beekeeper. So it seems like it's more people-y than the other decks were. There's so many bees. I don't know. I don't think I can't. This one's making me feel creepy crawly. I don't think I can do it, you guys. I think this deck is beautiful. I just have associations with bees that I don't think I've ever quite been able to shake, and I don't think I could shake it here either. Bees are an important part of our ecosystem. I think they're amazing. And when they're big and fat and fuzzy bumblebees, and I see them out in the wild, like in real life, I think they're darling. But I'm just not a bee person in general, so like, this is a no from me still. I am not surprised, though, that so many of you love this and are excited about this because it looks really, really gorgeous. Just not for me. Yeah, this Knight of Wands, I can't. It's too up close with this. No. That's just a no for me on the bees. Sorry, guys. Okay, well, I backed this. Spoiler alert. So I try not to look. I really do. But I have to look long enough when people tell me about decks that they want me to cover in the series. I have to look long enough to grab the link and prepare for the video. And I grabbed the link and I was like, oh, it's so cute. So I apologize. You've missed my hottest take because I had that moment all to myself. But this is adorable. It's really adorable. It's an RWS clone. And then they threw the picture of the Game Boy in with Ball Kids in the background. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm buying this because clearly, like, that was the Game Boy I had. Like, Hello? It's like serious nostalgia here, and it's, you guys, it's really cute, right? It's like a little square. Look at it. Look at it. And it's on, this was so smart for the creator, but it is on linen cardstock. And what's amazing about linen cardstock is it has a waffle texture, which, and they literally say this, listen to this. The card surface imitates the pixel grid embossed with muslin patterns, which can be clearly seen and touched. Also, this will keep some air between the cards to prevent sticking. I mean, linen cardstock is a delight to handle and to shuffle, but it makes so much sense for this 8-bit art style to have that grid pattern on the cards. It just kind of keeps you in that world. It just makes so much sense. But what really tipped me over the edge, like look at how cute it is. What really tipped me over the edge is that you can get the regular deck, which is, I believe, 2.5 inches square. It says it somewhere on here. Look at how cute this is. I just can't. It's so adorable. Where did it go? I feel like it'd be such a great little pocket deck, but it's 400 GSM linen. So it's a thick linen. It's not like a thin linen. And it comes in this, it says paper tuck box, but that's not a tuck box. That's like a lift lid box. I don't know why they're calling it a tuck box. That's a, right? Maybe it is a tuck box. Maybe it is a tuck box, but no, I think it's a lift lid box. This is me trying to describe the motion of a lift lid. Right? I'm pretty sure. Anyways, but they also have a tiny version. So the main version, they've got the sizes on here. Oh yeah, here it is. Okay, so 75 millimeter by 65 millimeter. I looked this up before, but I'm gonna look it up again. 65 millimeter, 2 inches is 2.5. So it's slightly 2.95. So it's like 2.55 wide, 2.95 high. So it's slightly rectangular. It's slightly taller than wide, but it's mostly squarish. I actually kind of like that it's not perfectly square, because then you get some of the cards flipping, and that would annoy me, because that's something that has annoyed me about square decks in the past. So that's the pocket size, which is the regular size one they're offering. And then there's a tiny... And the tiny is 40 by 45. So 40 is 1.57 inches and 45 is 1.77 inches. It's less than 2 inches each direction. How cute is that? So of course I had to get that for Peggy. Because I have to get this for Peggy, of course I'm going to get myself one. So I got myself the regular size one. And I got Peggy the tiny one. I backed it. So I backed the pocket size and I added on a tiny, which you can do. There might be a pledge where you can get both, but it comes with other stuff. Yeah, this one, yeah, so, wait, would that have been cheaper? I might have to do the math. It might be the same price to just get the Pixel Art Lover package. Because you get the pocket, the tiny, all unlocked items, a special card, and designer signed card. I'll have to check and see if my math makes sense, but... regardless. The tiny one, though, is not linen. The tiny one is on 350 GSM paper with matte lamination and a touch-sensitive rubber cover box. I think touch-sensitive rubber is another way of saying soft touch. So I think the outside of the box is going to have a bit of that rose petal-y feel to it. Does the pocket have that? No, the pocket has a paper tuck box with silky matte lamination and spot UV. But I don't think it's a tuck box, because they show, if you scroll up, yeah, see, look, it shows it with a lift off. That's not a tuck box. Y'all, a tuck box is when it has a flap that kind of untucks. So creators, if you watch this, I don't think if that's what the box is. That's not a tuck box. That's a 2-piece box. It's a slide box, right? It's a slide box. The box itself, the fact that the box itself kind of looks like a Game Boy, not lost on me. Freaking adorable, this deck. So that's my not so hot take. I backed it. Oh, it's blown past its goal. We're good. We're good. Okay. Spirits of the Hedgerow. Let me focus. Spirits of the Hedgerow has met its goal. You have 19 days to go. This deck is really pretty. I don't need it. That's in a nutshell. I do not need it, but it is really pretty. So let's scroll down. So each card has an animal, but it seems to be focused on an herb. Except here it says Beltane, so I guess that's the sabot. But I think usually it's the herb. Like here we have a river otter, but then it says something about spider. This font is a little hard to read when the card is small like this, which I don't know if that's going to be a problem on the final version. Like nettle. Here we go. 36 cards. That's a little slim for me. I prefer more cards than that, ideally. Looks like it's standard tarot size. 310 GSM laminated. So it will be thinner, and it's laminated. The lamination will make it feel thicker than a regular 310, so it'll probably feel more like a 330 GSM. And plastic-free packaging. Yeah, I mean, is that a real hedgehog? I'm going to die. It can't be. Is that photoshopped in there? I don't understand. Does that not look like a real hedgehog? Can I make him bigger? Look at his face. So cute. Okay, I'm going to try to focus. But yeah, that's this is really pretty. If you're into plant work, you might really, really enjoy this. I don't need it, so I'm gonna walk away now. The Feral Forager Oracle Deck. A 30-card collage art divination deck for those who love found treasures and oddities. This is a total, like, curiosity cabinet vibe deck, right? Like, this came out just a little too late for that tag, but actually not, because you can do tags whenever. It hasn't met its goal yet. 30 cards. It's a little slim for me. I like to have like 50 plus typically. 45 is about the lowest I typically will go anymore because I just really like thicker decks. But this reminds me a lot of the Coastal Curiosities. It reminds me a lot of the Coastal Curiosities, but it is different. It's got this like nice blank space with like the ephemera or the objects kind of piled up. And then there are keywords, not titles, which I appreciate. So sweetness with this like strawberry plant here, stillness, generations, and the titles make sense with what you see in the cards, which is typically what I would want for a deck like this. Again, that color in the background makes it feel like a limited color palette deck. It's not. There's a lot of colors running through this, but it's not bold and vivid. So in that way, it's not really speaking to me. And I didn't ultimately get on with the Coastal Curiosities deck, as beautiful as that is. So I don't think this is a deck I would ultimately end up using. So I'm going to pass on this, but it's really pretty. Definitely check it out. Okay. So this one has been shared a few times over. It's not quite at goal, but it's funding as we're looking at it, and there's still 19 days to go. This is the Crystal Forests Intuitive Oracle Card Deck. This is the second edition. I have looked at this before, or at least the first edition I've looked at before. It's really gorgeous. It's like forest paintings that are painted in such a way as to be reminiscent of particular crystals, which is super cool. So this one on the top looks exactly like labradorite. Oh, it says labradorite right on it. And then, so you get the name of the crystal, you get that the painting is about, and then you also get a keyword. So for labradorite, the keyword is a transmutation. This is beautiful. I have definitely been mildly tempted by it before in the earlier editions. They're voting on cards right now, which is exciting. So while the campaign's going on, there's an opportunity to vote for the next 3 cards, which is amazing. So it says, imagine having both the freedom and support to move forward and to guide yourself into your best possible next steps. That was hard to get out. Selenite is clearing. Kambaba Jasper is released. Smoky Quartz is grounding. I want to see more pictures. Look at this amethyst wisdom. I mean, this is beautiful. It's got that like mysterious forest vibe. 45 cards. See? That's a good number. That's a good number. I feel like under 45 starts to feel it just feels a little slim. This is the kind of deck I feel like you could pair with a bunch of other things, which gives it a lot of flexibility as a deck. It's really beautiful. Like, look at that. Doesn't it feel like you're in like a misty, mysterious forest? And each card is unique. It's not like it's the same image, just copied over with different like filters or layers over it to give you the crystal vibes. It's actually a different painting each time, which I think is it's just beautiful. Oh, there's also the Wisdom of the Forest. I feel like I've looked at this before too. These are beautiful. These have definitely tempted me in the past. So I'm a little tempted again, all over again, looking at this. Look at these images. Are you kidding me? This is so pretty. This is so pretty. But that labradorite card, it just snags me right away. Look at the malachite card. And you can really see, like, look at the spots and the waves and the patterns you see in the forest. It's very clear what crystal you're looking at by the way it's been painted, which is really special. Like, look at this fire opal card. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. Let me see if I can get it bigger. Right here, right? This fire opal card. Like, you have the gorgeous color of the fire opal and then these flashes of rainbows coming through the forest. This is really magical. This is really magical. 43 Canadian. Okay, plus shipping. So it came up to 68 Canadian. That's really reasonable. Let me just hit the remind me button. It's fine. We're fine here. I'm just going to pin this for later. Let's talk about the next deck. The Spooky Tarot. This is such a hard nope. I just can't even. This is like really freaky, bizarro, scary, kind of trippy. Halloween tarot. Like if you want something that's just going to freak you out to look at it, well, this is the one. This is the one. It's really dark and spooky. Kind of, it's got horror vibes for sure. Like B-grade horror Halloween movie vibes. The suits are spirits, which are the swords. Cats for the cups. And they're not nice looking cats, y'all. They are some scary ass cats. Well, not ass cats. I mean, they're scary. They're scary ass, and they're cats. You know what I'm saying? Whew. These are a lot, and I cannot with the worms. I can't even look at it. I can't. You guys, this one's freaking me out. For those of you that love the spooky, check it out. I'd like to look at a different deck now, okay? Okay, thanks. Thanks for playing. It made its goal, by the way. Okay, bye. Next deck. Whew. Okay, so I backed this one too. Okay, first of all, this also has a high goal, so let's hope, but it's also fairly newly launched at the time I'm filming. My video comes out in a few days. I need some time to edit, but you have until Tuesday, July 5th at 11:57. This is a really freaking cool. It calls itself an Oracle Tarot, which I understand why, because it's very keyword forward, but it's brilliant. So this is another one that I went down the rabbit hole when I went to add it to my video for hot takes, but it's really cool. So this is very much about observing the ego. There's a lot of really cool psychology. I really enjoyed the video by the creator talking about this deck and what it does. These are larger than normal cards. I love the Vesica Pisces with like the eye in the center here. The concept of this deck, as I understand it, is very much about, well, it says right here, Ego Observer Oracle Tarot Deck, a self-awareness tool. It feels very, very keyed into self-awareness work. And in particular, when you're talking about ego observing, I get the feeling that it's kind of like a very gentle guided shadow work in a way. And I know we use that term very fluidly and it's not always an appropriate way to use it and whatever, but that's kind of what it makes me feel like, because it's really, let me show you what I mean. So when you look at the cards, first of all, I love this art style. I feel like it's very like poignant. So you have the Fool, stands for self-discovery. The Empress invites you to look at feminine energy, and the Emperor invites you to look at masculine energy. And what I like about that is it doesn't say female, male, because there's a difference, right? We all have feminine and masculine within us to varying degrees, right? Regardless of our gender, regardless of our sexuality or any of that stuff. But it is interesting to be able to look at it, and I like that descriptive word for it because we're looking at the energy. I like how justice is boundaries, and I like how the boundaries card shows that that boundary is kind of blurry and there's stuff to look at there. Like, is your boundaries blurred right now? Where can you solidify that boundary? Where can you be stronger? Where do you maybe need to soften it a little? And then for the Hanged Man, we have perspective, and for Temperance, we have alchemy. These keywords are good. They are good keywords. In my opinion, obviously keywords are very personal, but in the Devil, we look at addiction. In the Tower, we look at resistance. In the World, we look at our subconscious. And it just goes on and on. And I have not found a card that I disagree with. In the Ace of Swords, we have intelligence. In the Two of Swords, we have decide. But look at the agony of this card and the way that you have like a small voice inside of you that you're sort of using to try to decide. And the whole premise of this deck, from what I've seen, seems to be about the conscious work of observing your own ego, of what makes you you, of how you tick. And I think that's exciting. The Three of Cups is celebrate. Like, as a reader, this excites me because I can see how I could use this effectively in client work, and that's very appealing, right? The Hierophant as legacy, and what legacy are you left with, and how has it been brought down to you? The Chariot as achievement, Wheel of Fortune for abundance and your relationship with abundance. The Moon speaks to cycles, and the the Ace of Wands speaks to that idea of, it says turn on. Like, how can you light up and connect with will and desire? I feel like this speaks right to my intuition in a really powerful, clear way, and I'm very excited about it. I think there's a lot of thought that went into this, and when you hear the creators speak about their work with this deck and how they've used it in their own readings with their clients, you get such a strong impression of what went into the creation of this deck. And I love that. I love that so much. Zachary's write-up about their past and their history really, really drew me in. I mean, Zachary starts off with, there was a time when I was terrified of tarot cards, and talks about having been raised in a Pentecostal family church, goes on from there, talks about like their own life journey and like all of this kind of stuff, talks about ego and how ego was always presented as a dark thing. It's who we are. Ego, psychologically, ego is just the thing that's our inner voice. Like, And so there's some really cool conversation here around observing your own ego and observing how your ego works. And I find this all very fun and exciting. I think Zachary's take on on this more psychological approach to the tarot, it's just exciting and fun to me. And I feel like the keywords of all the cards that I've seen have perfectly worked for me, which is always very exciting. So yes, I definitely back this. I cannot wait. I'm sure it will get funded. It better get funded. It looks like it's so well thought out. Go check it out. I'm very excited about it. That brings us to the Ethereal Dreams Tarot and Poker deck. Now this one was advertised to me on like Facebook or something, and I found out about it and added it to this list on my own, and then it eventually got word spread, and this one was also requested. So I think a few of you are interested in this one as well. This was really exciting to me at first glance because it looks beautifully illustrated, and it seems to be combining tarot and playing cards, and that's exciting, and especially if it's done well. I got real excited. I remember sharing the link with Danny and Dustin in our group chat, and as I was scrolling though, I discovered something that I really, really did not like about this deck, and I'm going to share that with you. There are seasons here that you will see pop up on the cards that will be labeled, and you'll also see, there's also the playing card associations, that part's fine. But then there are also zodiacal correspondences, but they're not in the traditional tarot places. Like this one is, we have Aries for the Emperor, that works, that's traditional. And then I was looking through the majors, and I was like, here's the Queen of Swords, and she stands for winter. I think that's beautiful. But I started to look, and I realized that I saw, let me get back down to the cards so I can show you what I mean. These are really beautiful. By the way, you can also get just the poker version of this deck, which maybe would be better. But as gorgeous as this is, I was scrolling. Come on, show me the cards. Where are they? So we have the Magician. We have the High Priestess. The High Priestess should be the moon. There's no moon there. We have the Empress. The Empress is usually Venus. No Venus. Okay. But we have Aries on the Emperor. And then I'm like, okay, well, what about the Chariot? That's Cancer, right? No, it's not. There's no Cancer. We get Libra on Justice. That one's correct. And I'm like, wait, most of the majors don't have zodiacal, so are they only doing it on some of them? And I got very confused. And then I continued to scroll. So then I found Cancer on the Three of Spades. Okay, spades, I have such feelings about this. Okay, spades are usually spades are the air suit, and they are the same as the sword suit. Spades, swords. So you're telling me that the Three of Swords is the Cancer card? And then I'm like looking and I'm like, wait, this doesn't make sense. Like maybe there are playing cardomantic associations here, but Pisces is also in the swords, in the the spades, because I don't think it's really associated with the swords at all. Okay, so now I'm confused and I keep scrolling. Now I'm in the earthly suit, and the Queen of Diamonds, diamonds are typically associated with pentacles, and that's earth. Autumn for the Queen, that makes sense. So the queens are our seasons, and we had the Queen of Spades, which is typically swords, being winter, that makes sense. The Queen of typically pentacles being autumn, that makes sense. And then I find Sagittarius in the Nine of Diamonds. So the Nine of Diamonds would typically be the Nine of Pentacles. That is an earthly suit, and Sagittarius is a fire sign. Why though? Then we have Aquarius in the Six of Diamonds. That's a water sign. Wait, is Aquarius? No, Aquarius is air. That's the one I always mess up, right? Yeah. But it's in the earth suit. And then we have Gemini, also air, in the earth suit. And then I was just mad. Because here we have the cups, and they look very fiery. And now we have the the hearts. Hearts are typically cups. And here the hearts look fiery. And the Queen of Hearts is summer. Well, this is clearly a very fiery suit. So, of course, we see Capricorn, which is an earth sign, and Taurus, which is an earth sign, built in to the cup suit, which looks fiery. Or the heart suit, rather, which looks fiery. And I'm super out. Now I'm just annoyed. I'm so annoyed. So this is beautiful, but do I think I feel like this would really screw somebody up if you're looking at this for tarot associations, because the clubs are typically wands, and here is where we have, well, they have a misprint here because they accidentally put the Three of Spades in with the three instead of the Three of Clubs here. So we're missing a Three of Clubs image because I just saw Cancer again. Anyways, Virgo is an earth sign and it's now in the fire suit, but this looks like an earthy suit, not a fiery suit. You guys, this does not make sense to me. If you like this artwork, I mean, maybe get the poker deck because you can get a poker or you can get the tarot. But this does not make sense to me as a tarot. It's like they decided to mash the two systems together, playing cards and tarot, but there's already a basis for playing cards behind the tarot. There's already correspondences that line up. There's already a system. And I feel like they thought they were doing something innovative and making their own. And maybe I'm being unfair. I don't know, but I don't understand. This does not make sense to me. So that's my very sassy hot take on the Ethereal Dreams. The Slavic Magic Tarot deck. So it says childhood characters brought to life in 78 beautifully illustrated cards. This illustration style is very, very cute. It's about a third of the way to being funded, it looks like, and it has 31 days to go. There are 62 backers. That is really cute. We have the same card again here, though. And there's the backing, maybe? Oh, no. Oh, no, 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 no. Okay, well, that's it. There's, how many cards are complete? Does it say? Like, it's going to be based on Slavic legend, like your Eastern European and Slavic fairy tales, so that's cool. But where's the cards? Oh, no. Okay, so this person has a partner who is an illustrator based in Serbia, usually works on children's book, and has graciously agreed to create all 78 images. Here's our first card. And the back of the card isn't even final. There's only one card. You guys, there's only one card. There are 77 more to make. And when do you think this is going to ship? January 2023. No, no, sir. No, it is not. No, it is not going to be ready in January 2023. I could be wrong. You know, use your own discernment. But you've got one card and you have 77 more to create. Is it going to be Pips? Is it going to be Scenic Miners? We don't know. I guess we'll just find out. This is concerning to me. I do not back... Okay, and it's only concerning to me in the sense that it could take a lot longer than estimated. I typically don't like to see... I personally no longer will back a deck on Kickstarter unless the art is at least 80 to 90% complete. And I prefer if the art is complete. And I recognize that's not always doable. I mean, the whole point of crowdfunding is that you're raising money for your project. So I think hearts are in the right place here. I think the idea is that this person has found an illustrator and then they're going to kickstart the project. And this is the kind of thing that Kickstarter was designed for. So this is just me being a bit of a Kickstarter snob, I guess. We've been spoiled. A lot of people get all of the art done and then create their campaigns and they're funding the production, not so much the art. They are paying, they might still be funding the art in a way, but they've obviously fronted some money to be able to get things going. And I recognize not everybody can do that. So I know it sounds a little snobby and elitist, but I don't want to take a chance on a deck that only has one card complete. That's just me. But this art style looks really sweet. And the artist that was hired or is being hired, I think, sounds like, has a lot of experience illustrating. So that's reassuring. But I'm not going to spend this kind of money on maybe the art will all get done in time. Maybe it won't. I'd like to see this come back to Kickstarter. If it doesn't make its goal, I'd like to see it come back to Kickstarter once more of the cards are completed. And there's a firmer grasp on what the whole completed project will look like. Things like box details and that sort of stuff, some of that can get sorted out with backer input and such as you go through the campaign, but only one card, that's a big nope from me. Big nope. Okay. I now want to talk to you guys about a few honorable mentions because there was a few things that I couldn't properly put into the video because either they're not ready or maybe I've covered them before. So I want to talk about a couple of those things real quick. One of those is the Charmcast Tarot. This is very exciting. So I actually, in my top 10 Curiosity decks VR to Candy Soul and Soil, I talked about the Charmcast Tarot. It's a set of metal charms that are all 78 tarot cards. It is brilliant. I love it. Well, they've been sold out for a while, and the creator saw my video and got a bunch of requests in from people and is now looking at, or now has opened up, there's a link here. I can click it even. How do I get there? There's a link, right? How do I get to the link? Let me get to it. Yes, they have opened up a new pre-sale for another full set of the Charmcast Tarot. So this is the full metal set. They are also working on a plastic set, which will be more affordable, that they will probably be Kickstartering or doing a pre-order for later. But they can do a run of these full sets as long as they get enough people. So they've opened up a new pre-order for that. I will have a link to that down below. I love my set. I think they're very high quality. They're very well thought out. And these little stick figure teeny card charms are perfect. They're weighty. Yeah, I think they're great. So if you can and you are interested, I wouldn't be afraid to scoop this up. I have zero complaints about my set. The lovely Kimberly San, the creator of the Fables Den and the Spread Machine, which is now called Spread Crafters, and the Way of the Panda. Did I say Way of the Panda? She's got a new deck, and it is launching to Kickstarter very, very soon. At the time I'm filming this, it has not yet launched. So it is called the Heart Align. It's like Heart Align. Yeah, here we go. Align, Heart, maybe it's Heart Align? Affirmations Oracle. It's an affirmations deck. It reminds me a lot of like the Sacred Creators Oracle, which is very affirmation based, but in Kim San's delightful art style. Like, look at this. And there's like little foil details. This is hitting Kickstarter on June 14th, but I am filming this video on Saturday, June 11th. I don't have time to film it once. I can't wait because I have to have time for editing. So I wasn't able to get the Kickstarter campaign into this video, but I will have a link below to Kim's Instagram so that you can go check that out and find the link to the campaign because it will surely be live. This video actually will hit my channel on the 14th, the same day that this deck launches. So if you're interested, go check it out. I think Kim puts a lot of thought behind her projects. I think she puts a lot of thought and heart into what she does. So definitely check that out. I also wanted to talk about this one. This is the Tear Water Oracle, and it is also launching on June 14th, the day that this video comes out. But again, I can't put the Kickstarter in because I don't have a link. So it is approved. The Kickstarter campaign will kick off on the 14th. This is a very self-loving, self-nurturing oracle. The creator of this deck is the creator of, I think it's called the Coping Calendar. And I watched a bunch of like little clips and videos of her talking about this deck. It looks really affirming and kind and like supportive. So if you're looking for a good like self-care or gentle hug kind of oracle from somebody who is coming at that topic from some experience creating artwork around the concepts of coping, this would be a really cool thing to look at. Again, it's called the Tear Water Oracle. And it is coming to Kickstarter on the 14th. So I will have a link to the creator's Instagram down below. You guys, our very last deck, I have a link, but it's not live yet. I have been following this creation with bated breath. Joanna Nelson is creating, or has created, the Little Bug Oracle deck, which features the little bug creatures from the Mons Tarot and from Whispering Spirits in their own special deck. This deck obviously will be a wonderful pairing next to either Mons Tarot or the Whispering Spirits Tarot. I guess you could also pair it with Cosmovisions, but I am charmed and delighted and cannot wait to see the Kickstarter launch. I believe it will have launched by the time this video goes up, so you'll be able to see more on the campaign page. I will have this particular page, the pre-launch page on Kickstarter, linked down below, and if the project is live, when you click that link, it will take you to the completed Kickstarter page. I'm excited about this one. And that, my friends, is all of the hot takes I have for you for June. Thank you so, so much for hanging out with me for this. These are tons and tons of fun. I would love to hear what you are planning on picking up or any of your thoughts on the decks that I shared today. Always good to continue helping each other out. And if one of you guys has experiences with some of these decks or creators and you want to weigh in down below, do that so that we can share and create this kind of collective conversation, and information sharing is always a good thing. So thank you so much for that. Keep an eye out on that Afro Drip. That one looks really good and I hope it meets its goal. There's a bunch of others that I'm excited about, but that about wraps it up. I managed to successfully complete this video having only pinned a couple of tabs on my browser, which I feel like that's a win. Peggy will be so pleased. In any case, thank you guys so, so much for hanging out. I really appreciate you so much. Please, before you go, do the YouTubey thing. So click the like button if you enjoyed or got value out of this content. Subscribe if you're new here and you want to hang out and get more content about tarot and oracle and all those fun things with me. And don't forget to click the notification bell so you're notified of all my future videos and live streams. Thank you all so, so much, and a special big thank you out to my Unicorn fan members. They are my channel supporters, and they really help me to continue to do what I'm doing here. I appreciate you guys so much. If you want to learn more about channel membership, there is a join link down below in the description box. That's an actual link. Or you may see a join button next to the subscribe button, and you can learn more about Unicorn Fam membership. I have a few tiers with different perks for each tier. Thank you so, so much. Whether you are just here to watch and take this content in, whether you comment, whether you subscribe or not, I appreciate you being here and putting your eyeballs here on this space. It means so much. Thank you all so, so much, and may your magic always shine from the inside out. Bye!